Are you ready, Heat fans? Yeah, baby. Tonight, 8:30 TNT. Take them brooms out. Let's finish off the Boston Celtics. Boy, it has been an amazing ride, a 3-0 lead. You have demoralized the Celtics. Spo has just torn apart one coach after another. And Missoula is obviously not going to put up the kind of fight that you saw from the prior coaches. I don't know. Maybe he gets Missoula fired also. Who knows? Heat are favored by 1.5 points. So Vegas is finally giving them some kind of respect. I love this because, I've taken the Heat as a dog and I'll take the Heat as a favorite. At this point, I think the Celtics are absolutely done. They know down 3-0, they are not playing with the kind of chemistry that they need. They're not playing the kind of defense that they need. And they're not playing with the kind of hunger that Jimmy Butler possesses. And that's been the difference here. And when they look to their coach, there's no answer. And that's a problem. Once your leader doesn't have an answer, okay, the lack of confidence will then trickle down. And then that's when you have the bitterness and the infighting and all that kind of stuff, going on. And maybe you'll start to hear more of that in this game going on and after about some of the issues in that locker room right now. Because when your coach doesn't have the answers, that is ultimately, look what's going on with the Russians in the war, right? They have poor leadership. Hell, they've got commanders that are challenging Russian authority on television, all that, like those mercenaries that they hired, that those people are like, they're pissed off. And you see that because there's poor leadership. And it's kind of hurting them. And that's why Ukraine has been kicking their ass now. Now that you gave them what they needed, now they're at an even level playing field. Guess what? They're killing them. Why? They have proper leadership and the other side doesn't. Same thing here. Miami Heat has the proper leadership and the Boston Celtics do not have the proper leadership. And Vegas finally caught up and figured it out. You know what I'm saying? And listen, the Celtics, talent-wise, you have to respect them, right? But the problem is talent's not enough. You got to be able to get it done. And here's where you start the series and you say, okay, you look at the roster and the talent and you give them, okay, the nod. You say they should be better, but they're not playing that way. And here's Miami, upstart and pumped up and psyched out and ready to go and hungry. And why? Because they have come up short the last couple of years. And they have an attitude like they think they're better. They're the little brother, right? Little brother's trying and the bigger kids are not letting him, but it's making him better, the fact that he's playing against that kind of competition. And these guys have kind of matured along the way since the bubble, and here's their opportunity, and the hunger has not changed. The leadership has not changed. So the drive is still there, and now the opportunity is open, and the opportunity is there, and they've kicked the door open to the opportunity. And that's kudos to everybody, from Jimmy Butler to Duncan Robinson to hell, Cody Zeller played well in the last game. That block where he came flying through the lane, that was kind of awesome, by the way. And tonight is a must win for the Miami Heat. Yeah. And it's not because of what you think. Oh, come on. Oh, they're up 3-0. Even if they lose, they're not going to lose 4 straight. That's not the point. It's not about giving it's not about giving Boston life. It's about not giving Denver another advantage. Okay? Because last night they eliminated the Lakers. So you eliminated the Lakers. Now you're sitting back and you're resting. And you already have a set date to start, but you don't want to be playing for the next week. So you want to make sure you eliminate these fools today. Put them out of their misery right now. Okay? Do not get Denver's better than you. They've got a better record. They have proven it all year long. They have the better talent. They have 2 stars on their roster, 2 legitimate stars. So now you need to get as much rest as possible. Okay? Especially Jimmy Butler, because Jimmy Butler is going to have to be Superman in that series for you just to even have a chance to make it a series. Okay? As much as my heart is rooting for the Heat, this one is severely in Denver's favor. But before you get there, you got to finish these fools off tonight. The Celtics have already quit. You saw it in game 3. The entire nation saw it. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's talking about how Jason Tatum disappears in the fourth quarter. So I would imagine that they have some kind of pride, and you're going to get some kind of effort early on from them. You got to make sure you meet that, exceed their effort, make sure you shut it down, make sure you have a lead. That their best is not. You know how the Lakers felt like last night? LeBron finally had a breakout game and he had 40 points, right? He had 40 points and they still couldn't win because the other, in the first game, AD had 40 points. But LeBron kept scoring in the 20s, 26, 22, and 23. Last night, finally, he scored 40, but AD scored 21. Because those guys have to be superstars every night, both of them, in order for their team to have a chance. Okay? Jimmy Butler needs to be a superstar in that Denver series. You know what I'm saying? Tatum and Brown. We haven't gotten the kind of effort that Jokic and Murray give Denver every single night. So you got to make sure you finish these boys off today and end this and move on 4-0, sweep them and make this as beautiful as it could possibly be. The other thing about this series that's very interesting, and that I don't think a lot of people understand, that this has a lot to do with the Miami Heat past. In a way, there's some resemblance here. It's not exact. It's not the same type of example, but it's kind of an offshoot of it. Why don't we go back into time? It's that old disco song used to say. And we are in 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back into time, back into 2010. Miami Heat, LeBron James, still green, and going up against the Dallas Mavericks. And folks, that's what we've got going on right now in the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat in 2023. A little different the scenario, but kind of the same characteristics. Are you ready? The Dallas Mavericks weren't better than the Miami Heat in 2010. The stars were on the Heat side. They had 3 stars on the Heat side. Okay? Mavs had 1. But there was a difference. The Mavericks were a team at that point. They were playing together. And then they were also together on the defensive side of the ball. They had players that could make some defensive plays. The Miami Heat, they were just put together, Spo's trying to figure it out. While you had the stars, the other pieces weren't complete, and neither was the chemistry, and neither was what you needed on defense. And then your superstar, your number 1 superstar, LeBron James, had not graduated yet, had not matured yet, because it was in 2011, Game 6 against the Celtics. You get my drift? So that was a different season, and that's when he elevated himself. This reminds me a lot of that the Boston Celtics right now are discombobulated like the Heat were. They weren't yet settled in. They didn't have the chemistry. Everybody didn't know their roles. And the Celtics, even though they've been together, the problem is they're in a bind right now, and they're looking at their coach, and their coach has no answers. And so then that becomes a problem for them. So now they've lost confidence in themselves. They don't know exactly what they have to do. They can't play the same kind of defense that they've played actually sometimes throughout the season. In the last couple of years, the Celtic team is not playing as a team. They're playing like individuals. It's Jason Tatum scoring. Oh, it's give Brown a couple of reps, and then maybe the other guys can sneak something in. You look at the Heat, they play together. They move the ball together. That's the difference. And that's why the Heat have got to get it done tonight.